What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another Tottenham update, and let's just get straight into it. And let's start off with Steven Bergwijn. Ali Gold was giving an update last night, and he says, I think it's going to depend on Bergwijn himself and perhaps how hard Ajax push for him this summer. Conte likes him a lot, and if it was down to him, he would keep him. The Dutchman is full of confidence right now after his 3 international goals in 2 games and the strike against Newcastle, but he's just unfortunate that Spurs have a front 3 that are flying at the moment. You know, if it's down to Conte and he would like to keep him, I mean, I'd like to keep him as well. What's your opinion on Stevie?
I'd also like to keep him, but you got to respect the player sometimes, and he's, how old is he now, 24, 25?
Something like that, yeah.
He's probably getting an age where he wants to be playing week in, week out, and he's been at Tottenham now, coming up, he's been over 2 years now at Tottenham, right? This is 2.5 years now, so next January will be 3 years. And if he's not nailing down a regular spot in the start, I know next season it'll be a bit different, because whether it will be Champions League or Europa League, probably one of those two, he'll have time on the pitch to be playing, like a lot more than this season, because we had Conference League and all that kind of stuff. But I understand if he's looking to leave, because he's playing very well at the moment. No, you can't deny that for Holland, and when he gets time on the pitch, he is proving that he deserves time on the pitch, and it's difficult to always be on the bench and only getting 10 minutes. And I think he is showing enough to have more regular time. So if he does come the summer and he's still not getting any regular time, I wouldn't be surprised if he decides, look, I just want to leave and I want to get some regular minutes and be a star somewhere.
Well, we know from now until the end of the season it's unlikely that he will get regular minutes, but I think it's a good point what you bring up. Like, there's going to be a lot more games next year. Obviously, the Cups will be back, the League Cup and the FA Cup and European competition as well. Do you think it might be worth, in terms of from Steven Bergwijn's point of view, maybe biding his time, maybe giving it just one more season, or at least till January, to see what comes about?
I hope so. But again, at his age, he might be running out of patience. He's going to have a lot of patience with Tottenham right now, isn't he?
The fact of the matter is, it's a World Cup in mid-season.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
He
so
wants to get minutes before that World Cup too.
He wants to guarantee he's on that plane, and sitting on the bench at Tottenham isn't going to guarantee that, is it? So I got a feeling he might want to look to leave in the summer, but I do hope he stays, and I hope he knuckles down and fights for his place and earns his place in the team. But at the moment, I just think he's unfortunate, because you can't. Just Son is too good, and Son's in that position which is perfect for him. So I don't know. I'm not sure what Conte can really do in this situation.
Yeah,
it's just unfortunate. We'll see. Look, the only positive thing is if we do sell him, we'll get a lot more money than we were going to get in January. Probably, I would say at least 30 million. And maybe it's kind of thing where we have a price and no one meets it, and then he ends up staying, and then hopefully that can motivate him to knuckle down. But I still think he's playing well, so it's harsh.
It is very harsh. But at least we're seeing players like on the fringes play well now, because a few months ago that was just nowhere near the case, was it? But yeah, I think that with Steven Bergwijn, I completely understand where he's coming from, but me personally, I would love to see him stay at the football club, because I really rate him. Next up, let's talk about Djed Spence once again. Ali Gold again in his update yesterday saying that Spurs like Spence. Paratici went to watch him along with Brennan Johnson for Nottingham Forest. Spence certainly ticks the homegrown box and is a talented young defender with plenty of attacking potential. And every time I've seen him, he looks brilliant going forward. Yeah,
and we've spoken about him a few times, and I don't know if he's kept up his form for Nottingham Forest or not, but I think he's definitely one who looks like he's going to be a real player in the future and going to be a Premier League quality. Whether he's one where that Conte thinks can fit in the system remains to be seen. He's still very young and it'll be a risk, but it's one of those where you want him and another senior right back. So whether we're bringing him in and no one else, that would be a bit of a worry for me. But if we're bringing 2 right backs in and he's one of them, then that's fine.
Next up, there's some more from Ali Gold, more on the right wing-back situation. He's talking about a player from Torino called Stefan Singo. I'll be lying if I've seen him play, but I haven't. But he's very highly rated, 21-year-old. Comes along with another highly rated defender who could be going to Inter Milan this summer in Gijssen Bremer. But what Ali Gold's saying on Singo is he's saying that I wouldn't be surprised if Spurs look at Stefan Singo, Torino's right wing-back, who ticks a lot of boxes for Spurs, Paratici and Conte. Paratici likes a loan with an option to buy deal, and I think he'll be looking at plenty of those this summer. Do you know much about him?
Not much. I took a look into him, and he's decent attacking returns with Torino this year. 3 goals and 4 assists from right back. He's pretty tall. He's about 6 foot, so and he's pretty quick as well. So he seems to be, and he's young, so he seems to be mouldable. He does play usually at right back for Torino rather than right wing back, but maybe he's one that we've scouted and see a lot of potential in moulding him into a right wing back that Conte wants, seeing as he's big, strong, and fast, and clearly has decent output as what he's producing right now. So, look, I haven't seen too much of him, not going to lie, but it seems like the right profile of right back that we're looking for.
Yeah, and you got to trust that anyone that we're going for in the Italian league should be kind of well known by Conte and Paratici, obviously with their extensive knowledge of that league.
Yeah.
So I guess it will only be a good thing. So next up, Youri Tielemans, obviously looking to leave Leicester at the end of this season. Paul O'Keefe was claiming on Twitter that Tottenham are looking at Tielemans, but it does kind of hinge on if Spurs get Champions League football or not. There have been reports over the last couple of months that Leicester could be looking to let him go for as little as about 25 million, which I think would be an absolutely brilliant signing if we can get him through the door.
Yeah, and obviously he's been a star at Leicester. I think this season, I think potentially he might have been better last season. I think there was a lot of speculation this season surrounding him, and maybe he's affected his performances a bit, and obviously the contract talks. I think all that can affect your performance sometimes. But I do think he's obviously shown enough to, in his time at Leicester, to show that he's a real talent, a brilliant central midfielder, unbelievable. Must be one of the best long-range shooters in the league, you would have to say, with his ability. And the only thing is, off the ball, there's just a bit of a question mark there whether he has what it takes to be a central midfielder under Conte, in a 3-4-3. There is a question mark there, but with his ability and talent, if Conte can mould him in his image, we could have a really brilliant option there in central midfield. And I would definitely look, if we're interested in him, clearly Conte believes he could be the right fit, and that would be, I think he's a serious talent. I would love him at Tottenham.
And for that price as well.
Yeah.
Brilliant price. I mean, 25 million. A couple of years ago, you're probably looking at in excess of 50 million for him, aren't you?
Yeah, and in terms of his passing range as well, much better than what we have in the team. Much better shooter from centre mid than anything we have in the team. So it definitely takes our quality in centre mid, in terms of on-the-ball quality, up a level if we get Tielemans in.
If I asked you this, you could only sign one of these two players, either Ruben Neves or Youri Tielemans, for what we need in our team. Who are you going for? It's a difficult one, isn't it?
It's difficult. But if you take the price tag out of it, I think I'm going Neves. I think if you take the price tag out of it, I'm going Neves. But with the price tag involved, I think Tielemans is probably, the difference in quality is not equal to the difference in price. So I'll probably go with Tielemans.
All right, let's move on and let's talk about Christian Eriksen once again. 90 Min are saying that Brentford face a real battle to keep Eriksen despite hope within the club that he'll stay. And understand Tottenham are one of the several teams interested in a free transfer. It is still unclear whether the Dane wants to rejoin Tottenham given the manner of his departure. And Paul O'Keefe carried on from that and says that Tottenham are considering Christian Eriksen for a transfer this summer.
Yeah, and Bannister said absolutely we're looking at Eriksen and going on.
Bannister said it as well.
Yeah,
brilliant. So it definitely seems like a possibility. It kind of makes sense in terms of the deals that Paratici likes to do in terms of these free transfers and stuff like that. It makes sense because he knows the club really well. It makes sense because Antonio Conte had him in his title-winning team at Inter Milan. But I guess there will be question marks because Eriksen did try and leave the club, was successful at leaving the club, and will he come back so soon?
Yeah, I guess that's the big question mark. But we know, but I think if we're in Champions League and the other, let's say we do finish fourth and Chelsea, United and City all aren't interested in him, then if he left Tottenham because he was ambitious, he wanted to win things. He did win something, by the way. He won Serie A. But he didn't leave Tottenham because he didn't enjoy being at Tottenham. He left Tottenham because we weren't winning anything, and he was getting older, and he wanted. And also, we were out of the Champions League. I think we were out of the Champions League when we sold him, weren't we?
I think.
Are we out of the Champions League?
We lost to Leipzig, wasn't it?
Oh, we were still in the Champions League, but we didn't seem like a harmonious team, did we? At the time, we probably weren't going to. It seemed clear we weren't going to make Champions League that year. By the time he left as well, I think. But at this current moment, we might be his most ambitious option if he's thinking like he doesn't want to stay at Brentford for next season. We might be his only Champions League team in the Premier League anyway. Let's say foreign clubs out of it. If he wants to stay in the Premier League, we might be his best option. And with all those factors, it'll be easy for him to settle in, easy for him to get up to speed with how Conte wants to play, because he knows how Conte wants to play. He'll be definitely a player we need in this squad, because a creative midfielder we're lacking. All of that makes sense. Monetarily, we can definitely afford him. And I'm pretty sure we can satisfy his wage. And maybe this whole incident has given him renewed outlook on things, and maybe he'll think coming back to Tottenham and helping us win something is something that's attractive to him, because obviously he can't go back to Inter Milan because of what happened. He can't go to Italy. So even though he won something there, maybe he feels like who else would he go to in the Premier League if Chelsea, City, and United, and Chelsea, City, and Liverpool aren't in for him? Tottenham might be his most ambitious option if he wants to keep playing Champions League football.
Yeah, with the kind of financial restraints that Chelsea are under, I mean, he could be a viable option for them.
Well, can they buy anyone right now?
Right now, no. But I'm saying I'm guessing that they're going to get a new owner in before the summer.
Then there won't be any financial. If that happens, there won't be any financial.
Well, in terms of they might not get an owner in that pumps in as much as Roman.
Well, the talks are whoever they get is going to be a multi-billionaire, isn't it?
Yeah, you can be a multi-billionaire, but doesn't mean you're going to pump as much in as Roman did.
Doesn't mean you have to rely on free transfers either.
Yeah, that's also true. But Christian Eriksen is a no-brainer for that price because of the quality that he brings.
Yeah, but they have players in that position like Mount and Havertz, and they don't need him as much as we do. And I hopefully, look, maybe they might go for him, but I'm thinking that Tottenham would probably be his best option, I reckon.
You'd like to think so. I'd hope so. And look, I'd absolutely welcome him back in a heartbeat. I've said it before. Eriksen or Tielemans then?
I think we need both of them. I think it's not a case of one or the other. I think we need both because Tielemans is more of a CM and I think Eriksen is more of a cam. And I don't think
under Conte he played more of a CM.
He played more of a CM, but more of like an advanced CM because he played in a 3. He played like the most advanced of the 3. So with the CM options we have, we would need both of them. I would say, I wouldn't choose between one or the other. But if I was to choose between one or the other, I guess probably Eriksen because I think he's more adaptable. He can play cam, he can play CM, and he's just got unbelievable quality. And he's playing brilliantly right now. And when he's on top of his game like this, we know how good he is.
Match him.
Exactly.
There are very few that can match him. Yeah, I'd agree with that. But let's move on. Let's talk about Richarlison now. Bruno Andrade is talking about him, a Brazilian source, saying that Richarlison wants to leave Everton this summer, and Newcastle, Tottenham plus Arsenal have already inquired about the Brazilian. His price tag will depend on Everton's future in the league at the end of the season. I mean, it does look like they might stay up now with the results over the weekend. Look, obviously, things can still change. But let's say for argument's sake they do go down. Would you want him through the door?
Yeah, I like him. I've always been a big fan of Richarlison. People think he's like a luxury player. He's not. He's actually been one of the very few players who's been fighting for Everton. I can see when I watch Everton, he's trying hard, and he's just surrounded by awful players. And I'm a big fan of him. I think he can play left foot. He can play on the left. He can play up front. He would be a very good option. I think he would fit in well in Conte's system as well. I think he's one of those players. Yes, he struggled this season. Everton have struggled in general, but he is this player who, give him the right motivation, he'll be a star, absolute star. And there are very few players.
Do you think he blows a bit too hot and cold?
No, I don't. I think he's a good player, really good player.
Consistent.
Yeah, I do. I think if you get him in a really good, he hasn't been in a good team. He's played for Watford and he's played for Everton, and I think he's done well considering for both those clubs, and especially this season. I wouldn't put the blame on him as to why, because of his struggles. Look, don't forget, a year ago You know, Barcelona went for him. They bid 50 million or something, 60 million, and they got priced out of the move at the time, but they were very much in for him. And Richarlison said, you know, Ancelotti convinced me to stay because he said we're going to go get Champions League this season. It didn't quite happen, but
quite the opposite.
Yeah, that obviously didn't happen. But I believe Richarlison is a very talented, hard-working player, and I would welcome him in open arms through the door. I think he'll be a brilliant signing for us.
Would you take Martin Braithwaite?
Why would I take Martin Braithwaite?
Barcelona went for him instead, I think, didn't they?
Yeah, that was a different case because that was during the season when the window was closed.
Yeah, no, I was joking. It was just a joke. Let's move on. Richarlison, I think he is a good player. I do think he's a good player, but I just have my reservations about him. I feel like he's not as consistent as maybe he should be. But I think, yeah, maybe you're right. Under a Conte, in a better side, maybe he can show a lot more. So I'm not. Really...
Mane was inconsistent before he signed for Liverpool. You know what I mean?
It's true. It's true. But look, we'll have to see how this one plays out. There are other teams in for him as well.
I don't think it's one. I think it's one he'll probably go somewhere else though, because I think he'll probably look at Kalen Son and think, is there really a place for me in the first 11?
Do you reckon he looks at Arsenal and being like, look, they got no striker at all?
Probably.
First team football there.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, you know, one of them. All right, let's move on. Ivan Perisic, Ryan Taylor of the Daily Express is talking about him, linking him to Tottenham. And he says Tottenham are one of the several clubs waiting to discover whether Ivan Perisic will extend his contract with Inter Milan. Spurs open to exploring the deal, providing numbers make sense. Alfredo Pedula follows on from that. It says Perisic has had 2 offers from England, although his priority is to remain at Inter Milan. Obviously, he's playing at wing-back this season for Inter, playing really well, actually, this season as well. Would you take him at Spurs?
Good player. I like Perisic, 33 years of age. I feel like he's been 33 for like 10 years. It's a bit weird with Perisic, isn't it? But I think, look, he's a good player. He's always one of those players, like in big games, he seems to like step up, doesn't he? And I think he's obviously been a wing-back. Was he a wing-back for Conte? Yeah, he was, wasn't he, at Inter? Yeah. And he's always been brilliant in Croatia on the international stage as well. So look, if Conte wants him for a couple of years, then yeah, why not? If he's still got it, he's still playing well, looks after himself. I'm happy to bring him through the door. And I think he probably finds provides a bit more experience than our current left wing back options do. So and a bit of versatility as well. He can probably go in the front three if we're desperate as well. So I would bring him through the door if it's a cheap option, if it's on a free. But you don't want to get too many old players, but a few sprinkled in is okay. So I wouldn't mind one.
All right. Next one is a new name we haven't spoken about in a long time. Is Marco Asensio of Real Madrid. Mundo Deportivo saying that Tottenham are interested in Asensio. He is expected to leave Real Madrid this summer. And Ekrem Konar says that Tottenham have been offered the chance to sign Marco Asensio. I mean, I haven't been following him really for the last couple of years. Obviously, he's got a big name about him, but has he been playing much over the last year or so?
I mean, he's not a first name on the team sheet kind of guy from Madrid. He doesn't start every game.
He used to be.
Yeah, that was a while ago now. It has been a while since he broke into the team, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's been now, since he was a youngster. Now he's established.
He is established 26 player now.
Yeah, he's not saying getting on a bit. He's not old, but
26 games in the league this season, 8 goals.
It's not bad, to be honest. But I don't know how many of those are subs. I don't really know.
Don't know.
Look. He's got quality. We know that
He's got his best goal return this season ever
in the league. 8 goals. So how many in all competitions? On the right, all the way to the right, all the way
10.
to the right. 10.
Which is
not bad.
Which is his second best. Which 11 is his best.
He's just not one that I think he would come with a big reputation, a bit of an ego, and I don't think he would displace Kulusevski immediately, and that could cause a bit of a problem because he plays mostly on the right now, doesn't he? More of a right winger. So he's not one I'm going to be angry about signing. Like if we get rid of Lucas and sign Asensio, I mean I'll be pretty happy with that. But he's not one I think is necessity. It'll be a bit of a luxury signing, I think. Asensio.
15 starts this season for Real Madrid in the league.
So out of like 30 games, he starts like half their games.
Yeah. 15 starts, 8 goals.
He's not. Look, he's a
played
good
right
player.
now.
He's like Coutinho, but he reminds me of Coutinho. You know what I mean? He's got quality. He's good, but whether he's one that we really need in that kind of position as well.
What about if we were to get rid of Lucas Moura?
That's what I just said. Yeah, if we get rid of Lucas, we sign him. Then yeah, fine. Because I think he could fit in that Conte system really well in that right forward slot.
Number 10, yeah.
Yeah, cutting inside, doing the Kulusevski role. I just think I don't know how much money he would command to sign him. It would be very big wages, I'm assuming as well.
Yeah, you would think so, wouldn't you?
I just feel like it's a bit of a luxury signing. One who might be out of the door in a couple of years.
I mean, he doesn't have long left in his contract. A year left in the summer. Obviously, it runs out in 2023. His current market value from Transfer Market is 36 million, which his market value high was 81 million.
Yeah, he's dropped off quite a bit.
Mad, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he's just been inconsistent for a while. That's the thing. And he can't nail down a nailed-on spot in Madrid.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about Sam Johnston again. Rob Dorset, of Sky Sports, saying that Tottenham and Man United set to battle it out for the signature of Sam Johnston in the summer. Johnston won't sign a new deal at West Brom when it expires at the end of the season, as he seeks a return to the Premier League. I mean, we've spoken about this many a time, Sam Johnston. Paul O'Keefe saying it's at an extremely advanced stage with Tottenham. But it looks as though this one could be a goer in terms of a replacement for Galini.
Yeah, and I've got no problem with it. I don't know why. I mean, United still have Henderson, so I'm assuming they're looking to sell Henderson maybe in the summer if they're going to go for
Henderson
Johnston.
Does want to go, doesn't he?
So maybe that's one. I think he used to play for United.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, back in the day. I think he came through the academy there. But again, yeah, bring him in because I think it'll just help the homegrown quota for a backup keeper. So I got no problem with Johnston coming in. I don't know whether maybe he would rather go back to United, his boyhood club. So maybe if they do come in for him, that might be something that week that they could gazump us. But if not,
it's interesting because the way Sam Johnston's probably looking at it is that Tottenham and Man U are interested in me, and they've got two world-class goalkeepers in goal, and David De Gea and Lloris, both at the twilight of their career. So he's maybe thinking either of them I can get into the first team in a couple of years if he backs his own ability.
Potentially.
Next up, Fabrizio Romano was talking about Spurs and Barcelona and Memphis Depay. He says Memphis Depay is not a priority for Tottenham Hotspur right now, but the relationship between Tottenham and Barcelona is very good. Keep an eye on Spurs and Barca in the summer. There could be possible deals to discuss together. Who are we thinking?
From Barca? Probably no one in their starting 11. That's right. You know, they've got a new era of player coming through, though, don't they? With the Gavi and with Pedri and these players who are really playing really well at the moment for Barca. They seem to have turned a corner a bit under Xavi. They're starting to get back to what they used, not what they used to be, but on the right path now. You know, when they started the season with Luke De Jong and Koeman as manager, and it all seemed just so wrong.
Absolute mess.
Barca playing long balls to De Jong. Like, what was I watching? And they were getting battered 3-0 by Benfica. Now, they they play tiki taka how Xavi wants to play. I don't know who. I mean, the last time we got a player from Barca, it hasn't worked out that great, has it?
Who was that?
Emerson.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the best deal in the summer, but maybe there can be some deals. Maybe like Dest or something could maybe a potential.
Yeah.
A wing back.
I'm just going to keep signing right backs from Barca.
Yeah, I don't know who I can think in their squad who is a potential to really to come to Tottenham. Obviously, Memphis Depay you mentioned. I really like Memphis Depay as a player. I know he started life for Barca really well, and then it's kind of since Aubameyang's come in, he kind of can't get a look in, can he?
It's the injury problems that are always the issue with Depay. I mean, he's constantly getting injured.
I think in terms of quality-wise, he's more than good enough to be in our squad. Mm-hmm. First of all, I think it's two things. First of all, it's the injury problems, and I think he's got a real ego.
Well, that's for sure.
He's got a proper ego, Depay, and I don't know if that would settle well in our squad, that kind of ego, especially when he might not be playing every game because we've got Kane and Son. So we need a player who's willing to fight for their place, not someone who's at Depay's age. Was he 28 now? Like
Yeah.
he'll probably be demanding. He'll probably be demanding a guaranteed start with his ego. So and his big wages as well. I'm assuming Barca are paying him big wages because they got him on a free, didn't they?
Yeah.
So I don't think it's one I would, unless the deal really works out, something near the end of the window. I don't think Depay's one I'd really look at, just because of those factors.
And obviously he's like captain of a country. He's not going to come here and play second fiddle to Harry Kane.
I mean, it's not a bad thing to be captain of your country, but I just think, I don't know, I feel like he's not the right character we want at Tottenham.
No, I'm not saying it's a bad thing to be captain of your country. I'm saying he's captain of his country. He's coming from Barcelona. If he's coming to Tottenham, he wants to come and start week in, week out. And
Yeah.
with Kane and Son there, it's probably not likely.
No, I agree.
Next up is Matthias Ginter of Borussia Mönchengladbach. Sky Sports say today that Ginter has been watched by Tottenham this season. Obviously, his contract runs out in the summer, so if we can get him in, it will be a free transfer. I think he's a very good defender, big, tall, strong, good in the air, good distribution as well. I would welcome this signing.
Yeah, but correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure he's more of a right-sided player. I think he's right-footed. I think Ginter.
I think he's played on both sides this season. For
Yeah, but
Mönchengladbach.
in a back three, I think you'd probably looking at either central or on the right. So I would think that he would be a free transfer, but would also obviously need one more on the left side, wouldn't we? He wouldn't be the one that we're looking to take over from Davis. So I think he'd be a brilliant signing.
He comes in to fight Dyer for that space.
Yeah, so that would be a good signing in that case, because I think he's German international, isn't he? And he's got good experience and he's a good age. So for sure, Ginter's one I'd be very interested in. But obviously we just need him plus one on the left. Left centre back has to be priority. But he'd be, yeah. I mean, we need cover for the central and right and at the central centre back in the back three. So he'd be a good signing.
If you can sell Joe Rodon for anything, literally anything, with 5 million, 10 million, whatever it may be, and get him in on a free,
Yeah,
that's
upgrade.
Brilliant business, isn't it? Last but not least, some worrying news actually about Fabio Paratici. Dimarzio saying the FIGC federal prosecutor requests a 16-month suspension for Tottenham sporting director Fabio Paratici as part of an investigation into fictitious capital gains. Obviously, the news came about a few months ago that he's being investigated for some of the work he did for Juventus, along with a few other directors of Juventus at the time. And now, I don't know who the FIGC federal prosecutors are, or
Don't know. Yeah.
I don't know how viable all this news is, but they're requesting a 16th month suspension. I don't know if that's just in Italy or in world football. I don't know.
Might have to start calling him Con Fabio. Yeah, I don't know what exactly the ins and outs and specifics of this. Apparently, this body don't have jurisdiction in the UK though. So,
Thank God for that.
So apparently they'll be hard pressed to get him to serve it in the UK. But it doesn't sound good. Obviously, we heard all about all these investigations a few months back, didn't we? And now they're saying they're advising a 60-month suspension. But I don't know what the suspension means. Does that mean he can't negotiate? Does that mean he can't do his role? Does mean I don't know what this means. Does it mean they think he's guilty, or they're just still trying to find out? I don't know.
Don't have jurisdiction in the UK, does that mean he can't fly out to Italy and do transfer business for us with Italian clubs?
Yeah, maybe that's the thing. I have to do it via Zoom. Get on the call, mate. I don't know. I really don't know what the ramifications of this news will be. I guess we'll find out over the next few days. But it doesn't sound very good for Fabio.
Well, maybe we'll get the sporting director in jail bounce.
Exactly. We've had it before. All the other teams have had them before. But yeah, I don't know. I really don't know what to say about that story. It's just it does
sound a bit worrying, though.
It does, yeah. Let us know in the comment section if you know more about what the ramifications could be, because our knowledge on Italian law isn't the best.
Yeah. All right, well, that is your Tottenham update today. Quite a lot to get through, and I'm sure this is just the start, and it's just the transfer rumours just going to keep increasing now until the end of the transfer window. But thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always,
Come on, you Spurs.